Greetings, Eric Bakker, naturopath. Thanks for coming back. I've got a comment here from a subscriber called First Last on YouTube. And the subscriber is saying, I mentioned your product, CanXida, to my functional medicine doctor, who said she's familiar with your product and you basically just crammed a bunch of stuff into a tablet that don't even go together. Basically ingredients for marketing purposes only, not for their effectiveness. One needs to get natural antifungal available from the grocery store, not mail order mashes of extracts. That's quite interesting, First Last. Maybe your functional medicine doctor needs a little bit more study and research into natural antimicrobial therapy, because functional medicine doctors usually have got a medical doctor training background where they're familiar with prescribing drugs like metronidazole, various Zol drugs, various classes of antibiotics, and these things basically trash and destroy the gut. So I've not met a functional medicine doctor yet that started as a naturopathic doctor and then became a medical doctor. They usually are medical doctors and then become natural. So their training won't really extend to understanding the human microbiome. And also that means that they won't have any clinical experience in treating people long term like I have, when it comes to natural treatment. So my treatments extend back now about over 30 years. So I've got a lot of experience in treating people both with pharmaceutical drugs and non-pharmaceutical drugs. I've worked in several medical clinics. I've prescribed antibiotics. I've seen the damage that these drugs cause. Now, I'm not saying that your doctor is prescribing antibiotics, but most of them do. So it's a little bit like if you've been taught how to use a gun, the first weapon that you grab is a handgun or a pistol if you see a problem. That's your way out of a solution, is to shoot your way out. Well, I'd rather negotiate with bugs, but it doesn't work that way. So shooting with natural things is better than shooting with hardcore lead. It's not really a good thing to shoot with this. It can inflict a bit of damage on people, lead. So there are many people who've benefited from CanXida, especially CanXida Remove, this red product that I've created. I've had many hundreds of comments from patients now worldwide that have used this product. If you go to Amazon, you can read some really nice reviews. And these are reviews I typically get from patients all the time who use CanXida. Now, I don't care what you buy or what you use for your gut. It doesn't concern me. The reason I created CanXida predominantly was because I was disappointed with the junk that was available in grocery stores, like First Last is saying. So First Last is basically saying one needs to get natural antifungals from the grocery store. Well, in fact, that's what my patients were doing for years. They were going to shops, they were buying this stuff, and it wasn't working. They were buying a little bit of underselenic acid, or they were buying a little bit of berberine, or they were buying a little bit of grapefruit seed extract, but no one had ever really put a highly effective product together that targeted a wide range of pathogens at that time when I created it. I've seen some formulations now that are trying to copy CanXida, but they don't come in the same ballpark. Now, the reason why is because of the quality of the raw materials that we use in this product. The formula is proprietary, meaning I'm not going to tell people how I've put this formula together. I'll show you all the ingredients, but I'm not going to show people exactly how many milligrams of each ingredient we put there, because we're just going to spawn a whole raft of copycats out there to make exactly the same product. It took a long time to work out how much berberine, for example, to put against grapefruit seed extract, how much clove to put in there. All of these things take time to work out. The formula is very carefully balanced. It's crafted with good quality raw materials. I can assure you it's not a mixed mash of things to put together. Formulas like CanXida take over a year just to develop the formula alone. And that's not putting it into clinical practice. These things take time. Now, just to illustrate what I've got here, I've got a patient, and I don't really want to show you the patient's name. It's a 37-year-old Israeli patient. And I've got two stool test reports here from this guy. And one stool test was conducted on the 8th of March 2018, and the follow-up was conducted on the 19th of July 2018. But I am going to show you what happened to somebody who is very sick, who took CanXida Remove, CanXida Restore, and CanXida Rebuild at a very high dosage. I'm going to show you. So we're looking at 4 months apart here. So if we look at the stool test of this patient, we can clearly see here we've got a Candida problem. Okay, look at this. Look at the different forms of Candida we got. Lambica, Paralopsilosis, Brochinaris, Bodini. We've got Geotrichum. Hope you can see that. So we've got a Candida problem. We've also got a Klebsiella problem. We've got a 4+ Klebsiella here, okay, which is not good. And then if we look at this man's test on the follow-up page, on the parasite page, I'll show you that. Okay, we can clearly see here we've got Blastocystis hominis, we've got Endolimax nana, so we've got parasites here in all 3 stool samples. Can you guys see that? I'll just hold it there for a second. Okay. Now, we've got the same person we've treated, and this is in July. Now, the Candida's had a bit of a shuffle around. You can see we've dropped Candida species. We've shuffled things around a bit. Let me just move over here. You can see the dysbiotic flora. There's nothing there. And now we'll go to the parasites. Now we've got a cleat resolution, basically. No overall parasites, like all gone. Okay. What we have also got with this guy, we've got quite a lot of inflammation here. You'll see here the lysozyme count is 1,160. Okay, so that's the new test. Now if we look at the old test, we'll see that his inflammation was well within parameters here, okay, 295. And you'll say, well, why the hell did the guy get inflammation? Well, easy to explain. Can you remember what 9/11, what happened when the buildings fell down? All right, there was explosions and the building fell down. And what happened as a consequence of the building fall down? What was everybody covered in? What was everybody getting sick from? They're all getting sick from the fallout, weren't they? From all the dust, all the crap in the air. That's what they're getting sick of. And this is what can often happen to people too with a major parasite and a yeast burden. When we clean that up, we're going to get a lot of fallout. We're going to get the immune system producing a lot of chemicals, a lot of dust in the air, and that can make a person very sick and dizzy and brain foggy and lack of sleep and grumpy and irritated, and these things can happen, and that's exactly what happened in this case. So this guy went through hell and back for 2 weeks, but mind you, this is a very sick person, and now we've got a person who's so much better than what he was years ago. CanXida does work, and it's very easy for armchair warriors to sit there and to slag off things and to say this is crap and it doesn't work and you're only making this for profit. And I don't care about profit. I spend every week with patients talking about conditions, oftentimes well over what I should be talking. I spend a lot of time on YouTube. I reply to comments. It's not all about profit, people. It's all about helping people out too. And it's about driving your energy forward into passion, into things that you feel strong about. And I like helping people out, especially with gut problems. So CanXida does work, and I couldn't care less what medical doctors or functional doctors say. I could care less what patients say who want to get positive outcomes. And for those people, I created the product. There'll always be naysayers and people who don't believe in something. I'm fine by that. But remember also, people are always down on things they're not up on. So unless you're up on natural parasitology, natural antifungal treatment, and bacterial treatment, unless you're up on that, don't talk to me because there's no point. You're just going to be negative about it. But that's my last take on it. First last. Thanks for your comment.